We each lead dual lives, one in which we enjoy the now, and the other in which we reside in our minds. The time we spend in thinking begins to fade as our perception of the now takes over. Understanding how to maintain the correct equilibrium between thinking and being in the now leads to freedom. We frequently are hardly here, but rather in our heads, where we feel insecure and worried. It seems that the initial purposes of mindfulness and other practices were aimed at helping us balance the in head and out of head aspects of our lives. Which will be your answer if I ask you the following question? Are there times during your day when you notice you have no thoughts? There are many studies that demonstrate that the vast majority never notice any absence of thoughts. The majority of people might experience, I desire my mind would cease stressing, yet it never does. In fact, there is seldom a time during a typical day in which I'm not thinking, despite my efforts to just not think. I constantly think, my brain frequently runs, and I feel it's unstoppable. Most of the time, my head is a chaos. Incessant ideas race through my mind. However, from those who say they do notice the absence of thoughts, they may experience that this happens when they are at peace. They would find it enjoyable. This great feeling may occur when they are surrounded by nature, doing something they are passionate about, when they relax and meditate so their mind rests, etc. Hi, I'm Paola, a Spanish adventurer pursuing my passion for traveling and helping you be more conscious. One of my biggest goals is to create a safe and free space where everyone can express themselves without fear of being judged. Please don't hesitate to ask me what you need, as well as share your thoughts and ideas. Join our community and let's be exotic together. It seems that numerous individuals wish they could think lesser because they think almost all the time. If you fall under this category, try these practices. Your focus lies on all the concepts and ideas being provided when you listen to my words. You are conscious of the brightness surrounding you while you listen to me. There aren't any thoughts involved in becoming conscious of the brightness that surrounds you. Stop listening to me now. Have a moment to look all over and then proceed. Try that right away. Take a little look around before returning to listening what I'm telling you now. Once you returned your head to look around, you saw everything while not giving them any thought. You focused your concentration out of what was on your mind regarding those words at that precise moment and instead on what was going on around you. After noticing the brightness within you and taking a moment to look around, you decide where to focus your energy by deciding whether to pay attention to your own words and ideas or the words surrounding yourself. Thoughts will take over when you decide to focus on them, and they will obstruct your comprehension of all that is going around you in the world. The brightness and motion of the objects in your immediate environment, on the opposite hand, will take over if your focus is unintentionally focused on them, and that will obstruct your ability to think. Perform the following exercise multiple times every week in order to make you feel better connected to the world surrounding yourself. Observe the lightning surrounding yourself and the fact which you are oblivious to it. You shouldn't plan to perform this task in order for it to be effective. It should place innocently and naturally on its own. Combining this activity along regular breathing exercises will help tip the scales out of living a life in your mind and closer into the moment. During meditative practices, thoughts tend to grow less frequent, allowing you to get more comfortable enjoying the calm and quiet that persists. Regular meditation allows you to grow more accustomed with that quiet and stillness. Ultimately, make it easier for you to recognize and use that silence and calm in daily life. Investing time alone in nature is another way to grow quiet and stillness while enjoying it. I highly recommend you to go for a walk alone within the woodland areas or parks. Note that after you walk in nature with somebody else, you tend to initiate a conversation. So then there's no silence there. Maybe instead of getting lost in the jungle, you prefer to enjoy other hobbies like planting, dancing, painting, yoga practice, singing, tai chi, some other sports, making music, etc. Then, by following your ikigai, we'll talk about it in another video, you stop living life in your head and start enjoying life here and now. Thoughts and words cannot convey silence and stillness, the lack of thought. The only way to know them is to experience them. In the same way, the only way to know what a rose smells like is to smell it. Although one can write regarding the scent of a rose, one can never really capture, communicate, or define the scent of a rose in writing. Being free means having less thoughts. Nevertheless, many individuals think that acquiring numerous thoughts and words in their heads through learning teachings will grant them freedom. Then, what frequently occurs is that each of those ideas and words turn into actual obstacles to obtaining freedom. When you begin to notice the lack of thoughts, you tend to disregard your glances as unimportant for advancing your understanding. In conclusion, freedom, the state of not having thoughts and of being present, cannot be understood by words or concepts. It can only be understood through experience. You must find your own road to freedom. You come to believe in yourself, and as the lack of thinking gets more ingrained in your life, you can occasionally discover that the moment seems to last forever. The part of you that ordinarily lives in thoughts is absent, and that all that remains of you is what is smelling the rose. Fearing about death, which may cause deep and occasionally crippling terror, was the biggest issue that emerged from our evolution of abstract thinking. We formed religions and spiritualities long ago to deal with those ideas, as well as alternative, more upbeat abstract concepts like eternal life, salvation, emancipation, and rebirth. Many religions, including Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christianity, have developed methods like meditation that reduce tension in the body and, as a result, anxiety. These methods are in addition to those idea-based techniques to managing that fear. Other variations of this strategy include yoga, tai chi, and qigong. Although these methods are applied in many ways, in general, they can aid in the transition from experiencing life, mostly in your head, to living life more as present experiences. The strategies mentioned above can lessen the intensity of death and anxiety. I hope you start internalizing everything I have explained to you in the video. It can be very dense, so I encourage you to visualize it as many times as you consider necessary. In addition, I encourage you to put into practice the exercise I have told you about. Do not hesitate to share your experience in the comments, as well as explain on some other practices that have helped you to live more consciously at this very moment. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos I post. Take good care of yourself. See you next time. A hug.